Shake that body, party that body. Don't fuck with ghosts.
Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, we are back. What does that mean? That means it is another Friday where you know it. The boys from the pop off are going to be popping it off and throwing it down. There's a lot of topics to get through as per usual, and some even carried over to this week. You will know exactly which ones those are because it's still something that has remained to be talked about. Yes, Daniel, yo, thank you for bearing with us. Listen, we have a bunch of fun on this pod, so we're always trying to make it bigger and better for you. Big things are down the road, but right now, let's talk about the current bus stop that we're at right now. Let's talk to my boy Caleeb rocking that San Fran hat. Caleeb, what's up, my man? You happy? You healthy? You good?
Yes, sir. Can't complain. You know what I mean? We still out here living.
Good. That is exactly the tag I wanted to hear. We still out here living. Wudi, what's up, my guy? The technician.
Every day above ground is a good day. So here we are, Friday with my guys.
There it is. There it is. I think there's an ongoing theme. Let's leave it to Genefitzmagic to bring it home. What's up, my guy? How are you?
I'm all right. I've had a little bit of a good week and a bad week. I do want to make an announcement real quick.
Yeah, please do.
You know, I as everybody knows, I'm a Jet fan, a long-suffering Jet fan. And I said to myself, how can I fix that? Because they can't fix it for me. So I've decided I'm picking an NFC team to roll with. They're going to be my other favorite team in the NFC. Now, I'm still rooting for the Jets. I'm not off the Jet bandwagon. There's just another team. And I'm proud to announce that this new NFC team that will be my NFC team, Caleeb, I'm joining you with the Eagles. I'm an Eagle fan now. On the side. The Eagles are my side piece. And we all know sometimes you keep the side piece a little bit better than the white piece. So that's my side piece. Also, in other news, I got a bad message from my wife. She's a little upset with me. I'm listening to I come back from the gym a couple days ago, and I don't know if anybody knows, there's supposedly like some scientific correlation between hear loss and future having dementia. Dementia, I think, runs in my family because my father had it or has it. So I get home and my music is blaring, like she could hear it from the other room just from my headphones. And she goes, "You better turn down your music because you're going to give yourself the hearing problems. And when you get dementia when you're old, I'm going to put you into a home and forget you ever existed."
Damn.
Cold-blooded, right?
Savage.
But you might forget that she existed, so it's all good.
Well, then I said, you know what? Joke's on you, Jess. I was like, if I get dementia, I'll forget you existed first.
That's true.
There we go. So I am proud to now say I am a Jet/Eagles fan. So Caleeb, me and you can talk Eagles all day. Now, I hope me and you have more agreement on the Eagles, unlike me and Wudi on the Jets.
My only issue with the Eagles is our quarterback. So hey, you know what I mean? Like that's our weakest link. If Jalen plays well, we could get to the NFC Championship. Like
you can get to the Super Bowl, my man.
Yeah, like if he plays well, like there's no issue. We're not lacking in any other place like where we're worried outside of our left cornerback who happens.
Oh, now you're getting deep. I wanted to wait for a second. I was like, let him
prime.
He's past the prime. They got to address that in the draft for sure.
Yeah, like it's just,
and they will.
It's just obvious. But you know, he can suffice. I don't think we would lose a Super Bowl because of him, or lose against the Rams because of him. I think we would lose against the Rams more so because the Rams defense makes Jalen make mistakes. That's what I would say. The Rams are playing great. Their defense looked phenomenal against the Vikings.
They're red hot right now.
Yeah, they look great. Like that front four. Also their secondary, like they're playing man on Justin Jefferson and Addison and all that and nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they were all over Sam, you know, so hey, like it's gonna be a game. I don't expect Saquon to put up 270 yards on the you know, so it's gonna be interesting. So we'll see.
Well, hey, you know what? You guys mentioned a certain somebody who is near and dear to Gene's heart. So let's jump into our NFL talk here. Block one. We're kicking this show off with where is Sam Darnold going to play next year? Now, we already mentioned that he had a real tough route. This was a game of two players, and he came out as a different player than we had seen at the beginning of the season. Even mid-season, towards the end, we weren't really sure what was happening. And then in the playoffs, as we saw last week, it was a bad scene for Mr. Darnold. All hail the Viking King, though, because he did his thing during the season, man. He, if anything, he was showing his resume. He was showing that he still got a little bit of it, but where will he end up next year? That is the big question that everybody is asking across all forms of media. Wudi, let's start with you. Where do you think Sam Darnold is going to end up next year?
Let me just before that, I've spent too much time talking about Sam Darnold the last week because as a Jet fan, as somebody who does, Jets podcasts, I don't think there was a single event this season that made my inbox overflow as much as this last Vikings game, where everybody can be, told you so, and just, Jameis Winston White. Like, no, I'm telling you right now.
Winston White.
I'm telling you right now. Sam Darnold, he has proven to me that he is a starting quarterback in this league. And the boy is 27. I think that's something, you take that for granted because it feels like, he's been in the league, he's a journeyman, he's all that. No, he's in the same draft class as Josh and Lamar, but he was the youngest of that draft class. He only a year older than Bo Nix. What do you think about that? Right? I think maybe 2 years older than Bo Nix. So Darnold, he is still young. Now he has finally gotten a shot where his top wide receiver deserves to be in the NFL, because that's not something he saw with the Jets. So I think he is talented enough, and I think a place that might be good for him, and I guess I mentioned this team already, is the Cleveland Browns, right? Deshaun just re-popped his Achilles. Jameis is Jameis. I love him to death, but I mean, the Lord has not yet delivered him from pick sixes. So maybe they can deliver that team. Sam Darnold, Jerry Jeudy. Sam has always had an affinity for throwing to the tight end, right? He's made a lot of tight ends some money. David Njoku would have a field day catching passes, one of the most athletic tight ends in the NFL. I think this would be a nice fit on both sides as the Cleveland Browns keep going through the quarterback carousel, not knowing what's happening. Sam obviously lost a lot of money, right, the way that he finished out the season. So I think they can get him on the cheap and have Darnold be that guy to compete in the super, super tough AFC North.
Okay. Who's next? Gene.
I want to say this. I've been a supporter of Sam Darnold for so long, and you guys know that.
We do know that.
I had the Vikings going to the Super Bowl because
We also
of Sam
know
Darnold.
that.
I had him as a comeback player of the year candidate. But I want to say this to Sam. Thank you for letting me down. You let me down. You let your bank account down. You let your wife down, most of all. She should leave you. And I just want to say thank you for taking a shit on my carpet, because it's a stain that I'll never get rid of, because I've rooted for this guy for the last 4 years. Do I think it's over for him? No. Do I think that $100 million contract out there is floating around for him? No. I think he's going to have to go somewhere and be a backup somewhere, to be honest with you, and kind of get back into where he could be a starter. I'm going to throw out a little bit of a hot take and a little bit of something like there's certain things that sound obvious, right? Like Cleveland Browns sound obvious. They need a quarterback, right? Especially this year, to go with a veteran leader for those wide receivers. But I wouldn't trust him in an environment where the weather could have that much effect. Going to Dallas as a backup and maybe succeeding there, because I mean, listen, Dak has hurt a lot. We don't know really what the future is for Dak. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past Jerry Jones to make some move and bring him down there. They got a dome a dome arena. I could see the Dallas Cowboys being, a dark horse for the white Jameis Winston. In fact, that's Wudi, good call. That's a T-shirt. Jameis Winston White. I love it.
No, I'm saying he was not that.
That's
Whatever.
That's actually not fair, because I'm gonna say this for Jameis, Pastor Winston. he's gonna let it rip. You may pick it, but he's gonna let it rip. Sam wasn't even letting it rip. He was back, holding on to the ball. You would have thought he was Jalen Hurts as much as he was holding on to that football. Like, stop it. Jameis is gonna let it rip. You're like, no, Jameis, don't throw it. He's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. That's not fair. Like,
he's the J.R. Smith of the NFL.
Baker Mayfield's gonna let it rip. Like, there's certain dudes that are gonna let it rip. You may pick it, but it wasn't because they didn't put it up there for you to go get it. So that's the only thing I'll say about that in defense of Jameis. But you know what? Wudi's take on the Browns, yeah, maybe, but I agree with Gene. It's the weather. And plus, I think the Browns are going to make a push to try to get Shador or Cam Ward. Like, I really do. Because they're already number 3. They're number 3 in the draft, I think. I think they're at 3. So they need a quarterback because their team is like right there. And if one of those teams, because one of them is going to take Cam Ward. I heard, I thought it was Tennessee's the first pick. I think they're what people are saying is they're geared towards Cam Ward and not Shador, right? So if that's the case, that leaves our Heisman Trophy winner and Shador. The Giants could go either way. Now, you would think that they would take the quarterback, but they may not. Or the Browns may offer something where the Giants are like, yeah, that's better, and they grab it. So I think it's going to be something like that. But here's what I don't think Sam is going to be a backup. I don't think he wants to be a backup anywhere. I think definitely his team is going to be like, he's proven the last 2 games, they're like, it was the line, it was offensive play calling. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to come up with something but because he's after that kind of season to be a backup, like that's a really bad thing. Cause he was in the MVP conversation for a while. At least the first 8 games of the season. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be a little bit hard for him to do, especially since he's been that. Because if that's the case, he should just stay in Minnesota. And they'll let McCarthy take over when he comes, who I don't think is ready. Because he's coming off of an injury. So I think Minnesota is more inclined to keep Sam, right? Also, you're right. His bank account did get hit. But not in the way that affects him or his wife. Whoever she may be, I'm sure she's a beautiful lady, right? Because it's way more money than what he got last year. He got $10 million for this season. He's going to command 35 to 40. And that's the drop. Because it would have been 50, 55. Are you kidding? A playoff win?
It also would have been long term, though. Let's agree. Like,
God.
He was looking at a long-term deal. He's not getting a long-term deal now.
Well,
he might get 40 a year, but he's not going to get
but it depends.
Yeah, like it's gonna be like 2 years.
He won't get a long term in Minnesota because of JJ. But another team, he might, because that's how fucking important the quarterback position is, and he's proven he can do it. And some team is saying, "Damn, if he just had an offensive line." Right? Like they're going to make excuses for that because of how much of an upside it was this year for Minnesota. Right. So again, I don't think he goes to be a backup anywhere. I think he's definitely going to command money. He will stay in Minnesota, but he doesn't want to. He wants a long-term starting job, and somebody is going to look at that. I guarantee it. And it won't be Dallas because they got Whack Prescott, and he's not going to, I don't think he wants to be a backup.
I understand that, but I'm saying he might look at the vision of, I could be the starter here if I can outperform him in the preseason and he gets hurt again. But
what?
Another one I want to.
Sorry.
I said if. But I will say this. Also look out for wherever. Listen, Josh McCown, who he has an extended relationship with since he was drafted by the Jets. They're very close. He's also proven he's hot on people's offensive coordinator looks. People looking for offensive coordinators. He could get that jump up from quarterback coach to OC somewhere. Don't be surprised if you see Sam Darnold go wherever Josh McCown may end up. If he ends up somewhere as an OC, don't be surprised if that team is the one that looks to bring in Sam Darnold.
I got another dark horse team real quick. I actually didn't realize the Browns pick was so high. That's shame on me for not doing the proper research. But this team doesn't have a QB slated for next year. I think they could use.
I know where you're gonna go. I know where you're going.
I was just waiting. I was hoping nobody was gonna say it. Say it. Would you say it?
No.
Say it.
I don't know. I think Pittsburgh.
Yep.
I think Pittsburgh could benefit from the services of Sam Darnold. They've been looking. You got Pickens there, right? You got Najee. Russ is probably not coming back. Fields, I don't think is the answer. I think Darnold better than both of those dudes. That could be long term. That could end up being a long term deal.
Also, look for the Raiders.
I will take the baton.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Raiders.
And yes,
the Raiders
I think
might be in play.
that was going to be my next
I'm sorry.
team.
I didn't mean to jump the shark on you.
No, it's all good. First of all, for sure, the Steelers, because and you guys know me, and listeners, you guys know me, and I'm a diehard Steelers fan. But I knew out the gate that Fields wasn't it out the gate. I knew it, and I also said Russell's slightly better. I felt a little bit more comfortable with Wilson, but he still wasn't the guy. I can see Darnold being the guy for the style that the Steelers play. He's a nice little pocket guy. He can run a little bit, just a little bit, but nothing too crazy, just enough to get us whatever yardage we need. But I think he would fit in smashingly well. And Gene, to your point, I think the Raiders is, for me, the Raiders is, if it's not Minnesota, if he doesn't stay there, the Raiders is number one on my list. I would say 1A for the Raiders, and for Pittsburgh, it's 1 and 1A for me.
I would be leery of him in a place where he's going to be playing in an environment like Pittsburgh with the weather. That's why I think.
But he grew up in New York. I mean, he didn't grow up in New York, but I'm saying he was in the league in New York.
That was his worst. That was his worst run.
Yeah, that's how.
That wasn't what that you guys.
He barely played in Carolina. We can't even count Carolina.
Well, yeah, Carolina ended up worse. Like his second season with the Jets was actually, there was nothing wrong with it. He has got mono. When he played, the Jets went 7-6. He threw 19 touchdowns in 13 games. He had a really good season. The weather didn't affect him.
He had a good season, maybe. I wouldn't call it really good.
I mean,
if he was really good, he'd still be a Jet quarterback.
I mean, that was his second. Well, no, because I said that was his second season. He had a season after that wasn't as good. But that second season was his best season of his life until the Minnesota season.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess, but I just think. Listen, I look at it like Vegas is a place close to home. Really, no weather issues at all. Doesn't really
also
rain
no
there.
talent. He has nobody to throw.
He has nobody.
You would be setting him up to
We
fail.
got Brock.
He
does have Brock. Yeah, Brock Bowers is and the tight end position.
They'll draft a receiver this year for sure. If they can address the quarterback issue in free agency, they'll definitely draft some receiver help.
They have to. Like that's the thing that the Raiders are missing just to stay afloat.
Could they trade up maybe and get that kid from Arizona?
They could.
Maybe. First of all, I want to make sure to say what's up to all the listeners, though, right away, or all the people watching. What's up, Jonathan? Yes, Johnny boy, let's go. Appreciate you, kids. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, you're listening to or watching the Pop Off. Jump over to YouTube, man, so then you can put in the comments, add to this banter that we're having right here, because we're getting fiery out the gate. We have a lot of fun topics to talk about. We just finished talking about Sam Darnold, where is he going to go, and I know all the outlets are talking about that. That's very exciting, because I'm really curious to see where he goes, because, I mean, he did a great job, and it's unfortunate that one playoff game is going to be, it might be the end of his demise. It might be, who knows, the beginning of a new story for him. We don't know, but I digress. Let's move on to something else, and let's stay in the quarterback category, because I want to talk about this. Jordan Love or Justin Herbert, which one is the bigger fraud? ? Now, the dictionary defines fraud as a deception practiced in order to induce another to give up possession of property or surrender a right. Also, a piece of trickery, a trick. Which one of those guys is best defined by the fraud moniker? Let's start with Gene.
Can I say both? I mean, it really is both, right? I mean, they got these contracts and they play to the point in some games during the course of the year. You look at these guys and you're like, they could be MVP candidates. They both of these guys, when they play sometimes, you're looking at them like God-given talent, stuff you can't even teach. And then comes some of these other games where you're like, wow, we gave this guy over $200 million. Like, it's got to be both at times, but I wouldn't call them frauds to the end. I do think that they can be fixed. I do think another year for in Harbaugh's system for Herbert will maybe hopefully get him out of it. I know Harbaugh won't stand for it much longer. He's a player's coach, but he's also a disciplinary coach. He's kind of like rides that fine line. I think players love playing for him, but he is a disciplinarian. He's fiery. So I think, he's got to get it right this year, or Harbaugh will want to figure something out. And same thing with Love. I mean, I think he might be more of the fraud, because I think there's certain things that Herbert can do that Love can't do. So now I'm going to switch my answer from both to maybe just Herbert or to just Love. Because I do think Herbert is fixable with some of the things, because he's got certain talents that you just look at and you're like, this guy could be the best quarterback in the league if just a couple of things broke right. I don't think Love is quite that good, but there's times you look at Love and you're just like, wow. But he hasn't. I see more with Herbert going into the future than I do Love.
It's crazy because, again, we're talking about another young quarterback. Herbert is only 26 years old. He's only been in the league since 2020. It's wild to think of what the future may hold for him. Even he's holding he at one time was NFL offensive rookie of the year. So there's a lot happening with both quarterbacks. Caleeb, thoughts?
Gene is unequivocally wrong and incorrect. It's felonious, erroneous, and all the oneuses you could put together in one sentence. Have you lost your damn mind? Love and Herbert are both frauds. First of all, the definition alone means it ain't them. The definition alone means it ain't them. It's like people throwing around racist. It's like they don't even know what racist means. Oh, I don't like. Oh, you're racist. No, racist is a completely different definition. It could be stereotypical. It could be prejudice, right? But it's not racist. Anyway, I digress. But no, hell no, neither one of them. First of all, for Mr. Love, how many receivers do you have?
Oh, that's unfair. He's got some decent receivers there.
Oh my God.
They haven't done it. Is that because of the quarterback, though?
I was watching the game with my mom, and I said, these men obviously have not tithed. They do not pay their 10% to the Lord. Because I swear to God, it was like, boom, strike him, boom, strike him, boom, strike him. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I don't know what they doing in their lives, but whatever it is, it ain't righteous. Because I mean, you talk about the worst luck ever. Come on. That is so not his fault. And I get he's not perfect, but he's damn sure not no fraud. I would love Jordan Love as my quarterback. They were talking about, would you take Jalen or Love? I was like, what? Love in the Eagle system? Stop it. With
really?
Man, anyway, so hell no, he's not. Then let's go to Herbert, who I love, right? He had a terrible game, but here's what I'm going to say. It's only terrible in the sense that his best receiver is a guy named Ladd. Come on, McConkley. He's good, not great. Okay, right? His other receiver, who's a friend of mine, Josh Palmer, injured, not playing, right? So he's like, I got to make it happen. It's the same. It's similar to a Josh Allen performance. I just got to put it out there. Y'all got to go get it. And he had a defense, and not current Josh. I'm talking about old school, the one that people try to put over him. But the Texans, their secondary is nasty. And they've been nasty all season. And that Stingley Jr., man, stop it. Stop it. Like, they're not playing out there. And them boys was out there sticky fingers, boy. Like, they was on it. That's the only reason why they won. It wasn't because of no damn CJ Stroud. I'll tell you that. It's because of that defense.
Let me ask you this, because we can say this every time. Did Herbert throw 4 picks, or did Houston get 4 picks?
He threw.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. He threw 2. The other 2, because one, a receiver caught it and it tipped. Dude caught it. Another one, the receiver went up and it went over his hands, and the dude was right there behind him and it was like the pick 6. The one that dude it was just right. But he did throw 2 where Stingley was there. He was underneath and just went up. That's classic Madden pick. You slow down and then run up and catch it before it dropped. He did that. So I'll give Herbert 2 real ones that he threw, and then 2 that are not his fault, but he's
defense induced.
Right. So there's that. But it's like they didn't have a running game, which is Harbaugh's going to have to address that, because everybody wants to downplay the running back until they need one. You know what I'm saying? And the Chargers needed that. They did not. You know what I mean? And that defense is what gave CJ the breath to have the confidence to start playing better. Because had that game stayed close and the defense wasn't getting them pick sixes and opening up the game, man, please, not happening. So we're going to see what happens in Arrowhead as far as that goes. But I think Patrick's going to have a hard game because that secondary is no fucking joke. Them dudes can play. So that's what it's going to be. But anyway, back to this topic. Hell no, Gina's unequivocally wrong. There's no way they're both frauds. I would take them both as my quarterback. And one was just cursed by God, and the other one was just he was trying to make it happen with what he had, and he couldn't. Right. So
I just want to say, as an Eagles fan, I would take Herbert over Hurts, but I wouldn't take Love over Hurts.
I hate this so much. First of all, I already hate this bit so much.
It's not a bit. The Eagles are my other team.
This dude right here.
I can't with this, man.
I want to be like those Eagle fans in the crowd, kind of like, throwing snowballs at Santa, putting batteries in snowballs. That'll be me. Just wait till I get to Lincoln Field.
That's brilliant.
Okay, so and Wudi, what are you thinking? I think you're the last man
I guess I
standing.
got to be the tiebreaker here.
Yeah, this is all you.
And all I'll say is, if you look at Quentin Johnston's hands, both of them, right? Look at his fingers. He only has thumbs. He has 10 thumbs. The boy biologically cannot catch a football. Biologically, throw this man, just lob it up. He cannot catch a football. You gotta stop playing with Justin Herbert, man.
That's what I'm saying.
My God, they got rid of Keenan. They got rid of Mike. They got rid of the tight end. I can't remember his name right now. And Ladd was solid, right? Rookie performance, very, very good. But you cannot expect, with Derek Stingley Jr., first team All-Pro on Ladd McConkey, Johnson had 3 drops that game. I saw the first pass that hit 6 of his 10 thumbs. Drop on the ground. So is Justin Herbert a fraud? I'm saying no, not at all. This was a team that they had the 6th overall pick last year, and they went from that to being in the wild card. I actually think this is a plus for this team. Harbaugh, they will be back, and they're going to get a receiver. If Tyreek is upset in Miami, maybe they make a call. If they get T. Higgins, who's the top free agent receiver, now we're talking. We're talking about something. So I think the Chargers are good to go. Jordan Love, he might be a fraud. He might be a fraud. I don't know. I don't know, because they don't have like a top receiver, but like they have a lot of people who would be like the second receiver on the team. They got Christian Watson, Jaden Reed.
Hurt.
Romeo Down.
Who's he going to throw to? They were like, water boy, get in there.
Okay, coach. Puts on the water. Puts on a water bucket.
You ever see the movie Lucas? They were like, Lucas, get in there.
The incomparable Corey Haim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Charlie Sheen before he had tiger's blood.
Oh my goodness, Tigers forever.
The Packers, they have weapons, and like LaFleur, like that system. Josh Jacobs was doing a great job carrying.
He even got hurt.
Yeah.
No, Jacobs was there.
No, he did, but he got hurt too late in the game. Like he was out.
Yes.
It was God was like, we're not playing. Take your communion.
I said we ain't playing today. Strike you down. That game was wild. I think I even said it in our chat. I was just like, the heavens are just opening up and taking bodies from the Packers.
What did you expect him to do? Like, to be honest, and the defense played spectacular against they were just covering everywhere. Like they were on it. Again, I don't think Love is a fraud because of that. If he does it again, because last year you saw what happened when he had his guns. Oh my God.
He was good, but like this whole season, he wasn't like that great. Like,
no, you're right.
Herbert had a really good season. Herbert only had 3 picks all year.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I feel like Herbert, what Gene said was blasphemous. I'm still trying to, erase that from my memory, what he was saying about Justin Herbert.
I'm
But
talking about the
Jordan
big
Love,
spot. I'm talking about the big spot.
I mean, he's pretty solid. He has game-winning drives on his resume.
That's why I kind of changed my answer to Love. But
you didn't change strong enough. You should have.
That was a passive change.
But I do think I feel like so far they're both so far in their career. Can we put it that way? Can I say it that way then? So far in their career, they're both frauds. I'm not saying they need a Super Bowl, but they need an extended playoff run.
That's crazy.
I mean, I hear you, but I don't think that's fraudulent. Like, I think the definition of the word excludes them.
I think before we move on,
Herbert.
I think before we move on, for me, just so I can put this piece in because it might change your opinions, it's just the idea that Love just doesn't have the fire that we thought or we think or that his team needs. He doesn't seem like he has that kind of passion or aggression to get through the hump. He's kind of like the Joel Embiid of the Green Packers. Yes.
Oh my God.
That might be disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen,
from a dude who's never available.
Well, I don't think he's talking about the injury. I think he's just talking about being a fiery leader.
Yes.
You're right. He's right. I agree with that.
From the perspective of like getting on top of things when things get rough, really getting on board and rallying the troops. I haven't really seen Love do that thing, which can change the flow of the game and change how aggressive your offense can be. I haven't seen Love do that. Only when he's on top of things and he can stay on top of things is when things get great. That's what I've seen of Love. Herbert seems like he can step up when he needs to. Obviously, he doesn't step up to like a degree that he's like an elite quarterback, but he steps up enough. I mean, look at his numbers this year, like Wudi said, right? But I know Caleb.
No, it's just hilarious because it's like the man, his whole squad is depleted. He even lost his, I think it was his right tackle, or like it's like, are you kidding? It was
that game.
I was like, hey, stop it. Whatever you're doing, God does not like it because this has nothing to do with you. This is spiritual right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do you rally that? Even LaFleur was like, God damn. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was bad. It was bad. And they still barely lost the damn game.
Yeah. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's on Jalen Hurts.
Hey, don't even get me started. There we go.
We won't get you started. So hopefully we'll see what happens with the Packers next year. Because I'd love to carry on this debate because that's a very good question. Which one of them are fraudulent, or maybe fraudulent is the wrong word, like Caleb said. But
I think it's
Love versus Herbert. I mean, same draft class. Herbert went 6, first round. Herbert went 6. Love went 26. Like it's who knows? I mean, they're for who they are and where they've been drafted and where they're playing. They're doing great things. Moving on, this is a topic that has already been mentioned in the chat. Shout out to Johnny Boy. We are going to talk about the Washington football team. I'll try and come up with a new name for them. I was like, nah, maybe not. The Washington football team. Now, did Jaden Daniels?
They're insane. Don't listen to that.
Right. So did Jaden Daniels secure the rookie of the year, or will it be Bo Nix? Now, let me just throw some fire at you real quick. Just some stats real quick, and then we can go from there. Woody, you're going to go first because you agreed with my line of fire here. Thank you. Bo Nix. Bo Nix right now playing for the Denver Broncos, the Denver Ponies. He has led the team to their first playoff berth in almost a decade. And he's the first rookie to be captain of the Broncos since 1967. Moving on to Jaden Daniels. This is the first playoff win in nearly 7,000 games for the Washington Football Club and nearly 2 decades of droughts in playoffs. And they have done the thing, and they are still going to play this weekend. What do we think? Let's go with Wudi first, then Caleb, then Gene.
I don't like Bo Nix. I think he's a senior citizen. I was not impressed. I thought Sean Payton was a fool for drafting that old prospect, but how is he not the rookie of the year? I'm telling you right now, he is out here doing work, and all of his teammates are not that good. Like really not that good. We knew Scary Terry was a problem. Austin Eckler was one of the best running backs in the league as a Charger. Brian Robinson, they got players. They have players. Bro, look at the last 6 receivers that Bo Nix has thrown a touchdown to. Troy Franklin. That might as well be Franklin the turtle. I don't know who that is. Vele, don't know his first name. Might be related to Pele. I don't know. Marvin Mims Jr. Okay. I don't know. If he walked in my house right now, I'm calling the cops. I wouldn't recognize him. Wouldn't know who that is. All right. Wouldn't recognize unless he had his jersey on. Then I'd be like, oh, maybe he plays somewhere. Maybe he worked at Modell's. I don't know. And then you have Cortland Sutton. And okay, Cortland Sutton is he's a player. For him to accomplish what he has accomplished, getting into shootouts with real teams. I know the playoff game was not great. He had the one throw, which was a beautiful throw, but then the game ended up how it ended. But as a season, that's another thing. I'm a firm believer that for this award, playoffs don't count. We're talking about rookie of the year, of the season. Mm-hmm. So if we're talking season to season, I feel like what Bo Nix done is inconceivable. You couldn't even in September tell, and you couldn't tell Bo Nix's dad that this was going to happen, and he would be like, yeah. I think he's shocked the world, and I think he deserves the award.
Wow. I disagree. I love Bo. Well, let me back up. I had to apologize for being disrespectful to him because of exactly what Wudi was saying, right? Bo had one game where I watched him and I said, oh my God, that dude can play, right? Jaden's had 4 of those. One of them against my boys. It's no. Jaden's has moments, particular moments, and he just had one last week. 4th and 2. Can you do it? And he finds Scary Terry in the back of the end zone. That's where you make it. What do they show in the beginning of the playoff games? They show one clip, if you're old enough to remember it. Joe Montana rolling out on his back foot, throwing to the end zone, and we see touchdown. Moments when you need it most. Jaden Daniels has come through more times than Bo Nix, which is why I would give it to Jaden above him simply because of those. It's not about the stats. It's not about, and I know that comes into play, but I'm talking about moments. I'm talking about who's got it in here. Not saying Bo doesn't, but Jaden has proved it more than once. I saw Bo do it, and I text y'all, and I said, I apologize. But Jaden has done it numerous times, and then I just seen him do it. Now, Wudi said it's a regular season award. Air quotes. That's why they don't give it before the playoffs. I think they should, because they take the playoffs into consideration. They look at, you think the MVP, let me tell you, whoever wins, Buffalo or Ravens, that quarterback gets the MVP. You want to know why? Because the people voting are watching that game like this. And that is who they're going to judge it off of that. So I know they watched it. Jaden won and came through in the clutches like the Duchess. Bo Nix fell flat. He scored on the first drive. My mom was like, oh, look at them. They're going to because you know what I'm saying? And I was like, Mom, do you see number 17 over there? He just said, hold my beer. And it was a wrap.
Love that line.
It was a wrap. Did you see that 4th down? Did you see my boy? He launched that thing. He threw it like Uncle Rico and looked at it. Homeboy in the back of the end zone off the ground. He picked up his back leg to make sure it don't hit the white. It was nasty. That's what happens when you take communion and pay your offering. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna say about that. Love Bo, no disrespect. I agree. He's a senior. I was like, yo, how old is this dude? He's a senior and he's 28. But it's but he balled. I just think Jaden has, when it's close, it's about the moments to me. And who's got that gusto. And I think Jaden has proven it more than Bo. And then with the win against my boy Baker, hey. Baker fumbled, Jaden didn't.
Gene.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if anybody. I believe the vote is already done though before the playoffs. Correct? Am I wrong on
They're
that?
supposed to, but you don't get it. That's what they say.
Yeah, so I mean, so the playoff game might not have even come into play. Having said that, I mean, both these players have a tremendous, career ahead of them. I had said last year, if the Jets were going to draft a quarterback, Bo Nix is the guy I wanted. And purely, I know Wudi didn't like the age. That's one of the reasons why I like him is the age. He has a track record of starting so many games. That's what I think the Jets have always missed out on with these quarterbacks. These quarterbacks that maybe started for like one season and they're babies and they come into the league. I don't mean they act like babies. I mean, you're so young and they come into the league and it's just too much. So that's one of the reasons why I love Bo Nix. Having said that, I think Jaden Daniels had too much of a head start to the season because, as the season went on, I think Bo Nix narrowed the
Agreed.
The case for him being it. But I think Jaden Daniels just had too much of a head start with too many great games early on to where and no other rookie was really standing out other than Jaden Daniels. And then towards the second half of the season, you had Bo Nix standing out a little bit. But I still think it was still enough Jaden that I think it goes to Jaden Daniels. Now, again, I think both these guys have a tremendous career ahead of them. And Woody's point was fantastic as far as who is he even throwing to. At least Jaden Daniels has Terry McLaurin, and some of the other guys that he's got there, But I think that he just had too much of a head start with the beginning of the season, and then still kind of kept it a tight race, to the point where I think it's got to be Jaden Daniels. But kudos to Bo Nix for that season.
Absolutely.
I'm going to start by saying this, and then I'm going to go and say that. I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I think just, again, Gene, I think you make some really great points. Everybody here has made some very, very valid points. And I think that's the thing is, I think it's taking that franchise, taking it on its back. And then, again, one of the very poignant things that really stuck out to me was Caleeb saying moments. There's just so many moments and just big ones that Daniels is a part of. That massive Hail Mary, that really put him on the map like that. Just all of a sudden his number just went grrr, right. Sure, he's had some wild interceptions post that, or just some wild brain farts and whatnot, but I think overall I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. However, I will say this about that. This is that I made if you check the receipts, I'm pretty sure I made a case for Bo Nix in the draft. Like early out the gate, I was like, listen, this kid from Oregon, this kid. And I think that he was put in such a great situation after the departure of Wilson. The franchise was just in a place that just needed to be better, but they weren't in a place where they were Chicago or they were Washington, for that matter, where they were like just decrepit and whoever they were going to draft was going to be the starter, and that was going to be the face of the franchise. Like, they didn't do that, as far as I can tell. Again, I'm on the East Coast, so whatever's going on the West Coast, I'm not privy to. So I think that helped him a bunch, because the first 3 to 4 games, Bo Nix was meh, and then all of a sudden he figured it out and played hard, and it didn't matter who he was playing. He took that team, to Woody's point, that team of people, and it just elevated them to having numbers that were decent enough that you would start picking them up off the waiver wire if you played fantasy. It was pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. But anyways, I digress. I think it'll be Daniels, but I think it'll be very close. Shout out to those two dudes. Can't wait to see what they do next season. And obviously can't wait to see what Daniels does this weekend. All right. We're going to jump to this segment, then we're going to move on. And guess what? This time around, it is already time for Nigel's Cap Corner. It's about me and my caps. It's about me and about my caps. Nigel's Cap Corner. Okay, so check it out. This one here. Oh, I thought it'd come with like a little bit of a kind of like a ranger, like a park ranger vibe. You know what I mean? I got like my little patch with my raccoon on it, the Toronto raccoon. I got multiple patches on the side here of my hoodie. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, I think the Chicago Cubs will work real well. Like kind of forest green, a nice little brown right there. It's got a gold outline on the Cub. This is one of my favorite Cub logos. Like, I love this one to death. And I got this real nice 1962 patch right here. Check that out, with a nice old school Cubs logo in the center of it. And obviously, You got your flat batterman here in the back with, again, that forest green and that gold, and then that nice kind of beige around it that complements it just nicely with the new era in green, though, because you'd think they'd put it in like beige or the gold, but no, green, and it works real well. Boom, you got the visor that's green here, and you got the gray UV, black guts. Boom, this is it for Nigel's Cap Corner. Another edition, done and done. It's about me and my caps. It's about me and my caps. Nigel's Cap Corner. Yes, G.
Did you see the new Cubs alternate
I
uniform
did.
and the new cap?
I did.
What was your take on that?
I'm on board. I think it's going to look better on than it does like in display. It feels like one of those caps where you look at it, you're like, I don't know. But I think if you saw somebody rocking it, you might be like, ooh, that's flashy. You know what I mean? Some caps just do that. And I do like it. I'm on board. All right. Now let's have a little bit of the run out here in the NFL. Caleeb already touched on it early. So this is going to be a very quick topic, I'm assuming. So let's jump into it. Is this Ravens-Bills game coming up this weekend essentially a battle for the NFL MVP? Let's go to Caleeb first, because I know we can probably truncate what you said earlier. We'll go Wudi, Gene, and then we'll move on. Caleeb, is this game?
I think it does. Gene said that the voting is done beforehand, and it probably is. But if it's not sent in, it ain't done. So you know what I mean? Like, I think because it's people doing it, that I think this does affect it. But let's just say it doesn't. I think this game is pretty much everything. I think whoever wins this will go all the way, I think, to the Super Bowl and probably win it, because I don't see any teams that's better than the Ravens or the Bills simply because of quarterback. The Lions are stacked, but it's Jared Goff. He might lose to Jaden this weekend. Like, don't act like the Lions defense is just impenetrable and they're just like the 85 Bears or the 86 Giants or something like that, or the 2000 Ravens. They're none of that. They got holes everywhere, and they may win, but I think the Ravens and Bills both could smash them. I think so, and I think the winner beats the Chiefs this year. I just do. I know Patrick is like, it will be even, but you got your best receiver, your tight end, talking about, I'm just considering like what I'm going to do with myself now. I'm like, see, that's what happens. That's what happens. The boy gets some fame, and now, you know what I mean? Like my boy Ricky Bond in Major League 2. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why everybody's so upset about me bettering myself. You know what I'm saying? So now he thinking about life after football, and I don't think you can do that with boys that are hungry. Real quick, did you see what Lamar Jackson said? They showed it on First Take this morning. They were interviewing Lamar, and they were like, "Hey, so we see you and Josh, talking. Is like, do you guys like connect? Like in the off season?" He said, "No, I ain't trying to be friends with them. I'm trying to compete. I'm trying to beat them. There ain't no beef, but I ain't trying to be his homie. Nah." I was like, yeah. Like, that's what I want to hear. Like, that's what's going to make, I'm like, yes. Because I know Josh Allen would double that. He would say, you damn right. I ain't trying to kick it with Patrick, none of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing bad to happen to him, because I don't want no excuses when I whoop that ass. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I say. That's what I say. So I think, this game, I think this is the Super Bowl team. You know what I mean? So we shall see.
You definitely outlined right there why the NFL is still king, climbing up ratings on all these different apps, and everybody just downloads these brand new apps, pays for the apps to still watch them, because that's a peak competition. Whereas the NBA continues to fail because in the off season, everybody chilling, kumbaya.
They switching jerseys and stuff.
Yeah,
Give me your jersey.
Hey man, I get your jersey. Hey, did you guys did you guys see was it a Philly lineman and I can't remember who the defensive player was, but the lineman was like, hey man, I know I'm just like a nobody, but like, do you mind?
Miles Garrett. It was Miles Garrett.
Yeah, right. Clearly, yeah. Hey man, I know I'm just a nobody, but do you mind if I get your jersey? And Garrett's like, and there's like a beat, and the shot is from behind them, and there's a beat, and Jarrett's like, listen, man, you ain't never been a nobody, all right? And it's like just so uplifting. He's like, of course you can get my jersey. And the guy's like, oh man, thanks, man. And it was like just the whitest dude, and just like the hoodie is like brother, but just so much like love and respect for wherever you are in the hierarchy of this game that we call football that we love. I love those moments, man. I love those moments. Sorry, Woody, go ahead. That just reminded me of that.
No worries. I think I do think the Super Bowl winner is coming from the AFC. I just cannot count out the Chiefs just yet. I really can't. Hollywood Brown is healthy. D-Hop, Worthy's the fastest player in the NFL. And Kelsey, yeah, he might be coasting, talking about Taylor in the regular season. But this is an old man, and that's the Spurs used to do it. They coasted, do whatever they do in the regular season. But now it's time for the playoffs. All right, it's 3 games, Travis. 3 games. Let's give it your all. So I think Travis is going to be ready. And he knows what it takes. So I don't know who's going to win. I know it's going to come from the AFC. In terms of the Bills and the Ravens, I definitely think for the perception, for the casual fan, 1,000%, whoever wins, they're going to say, give that person the MVP. I think that's horrible. I think it's terrible how much the media has brainwashed people into thinking that quarterbacks are the only factor behind wins. It's nonsense. It's garbage. If Tyler Bass misses a field goal to win the game, that does not mean Lamar has beat Josh. It means that Tyler Bass missed a field goal and now the Ravens have won. Like that is what happens. So I think it's awful that we assume for some reason that in a sport where there are 53 players per team, we act like it's one-on-one. Now, who's gonna win? I have to say I strongly disagree with this. I think Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes are tier 1. I think Lamar is the top of tier 2, but I think tier 1 is Josh, Patrick, and Joe, not in that order. But I think what Lamar does have though is a better team. He has King Henry. Okay. I mean, this is going to be a game. To Kayla's point, this is probably going to be like the biggest game of the whole playoffs. After this, it's just like, wow. But
this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like a lot of people, it's going to be big. And then especially if the Chiefs win, the next game is going to be big too, because it's GOAT Mahomes against one of them, which is like, you know what I mean? Like a real rivalry. So that's going to be great too. But Johnny Boy, you're wrong. I would take Josh Allen over Lamar any day, to be honest. But that's just me.
Yeah, well, I guess that me as well. But yeah, so I hope. I don't even know. I know it's definitely going to sway. I think it's stupid that it's going to sway because it's not one-on-one. It's a team victory. Like teams do things. Kickers miss. People can fumble. It's not just all on the quarterback. But yeah, that should be a great game either way.
Gene?
So it's like 2 questions, I feel. It's like who do I think will win and who will win? Because I do think someone should win, but I don't think they'll win. And Woody's right. Like, it shouldn't come down to just quarterbacks because, I mean, Saquon has had such a crazy season that I don't understand why he's not more in the mix. I think some people are saying he should be, but, I mean, it's not like definitive that he's in the mix. He'll probably get a couple of votes. But if it comes down to those 2 players, I personally think it should be Lamar. I think Lamar has played out of his mind. Now, playoffs are a different story. He hasn't really had a nice playoff run yet. And hopefully this is the year that he does, because I think this is the best game in the whole. This is going to be the best game in the whole postseason of this year. I think the league wants Josh Allen to finally have one. So I really do think it's going to be Josh Allen's award. Nothing to do with this game. I don't think it has anything to do with this game. I think win or lose, Josh Allen wins it, just because I think the league wants they can give it to him.
Less.
He's maybe.
Not
Maybe is that really? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, Lamar doesn't have any great receivers really either.
Zay Flowers is better than any receiver.
Zay Flowers this year. All right, Zay Flowers this year.
And don't forget Likely and Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
Like what? And then
but I'll get like Dalton Kincaid is pretty good though.
no, but he ain't. But he's likely
He's not
and
Andrews.
Kincaid.
Keon Coleman's had a
I'll say
nice
likely
season.
and Kincaid can cancel each other out.
Keon
But
Coleman's
then we
had a
still
nice
got
season.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah. I would agree. And then Zay Flowers is literally better than
Zay Flowers, I'll give you Zay Flowers.
And then King Henry. Yeah.
And King Henry. But up until this year, it hasn't been the case, right? And I just think Lamar Jackson's a better player. That's just my opinion.
No, I get it because he can do more things. Well,
41 touchdowns or so to 4 picks.
It's not he can do more. I take that back. It's they do things differently.
Yeah, that's it.
100%.
They do. Yeah.
Because Josh
41
will bruise you and run.
Yeah.
Lamar
We're talking about this season.
finesse
So
you.
we're talking about this season, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So carry on, Gene. Finish
I
your.
mean, 41 touchdowns to 4 picks.
I get it.
You know, I just think same reason why they wouldn't give it, you know, the award sometimes after a few years to Jordan or after a few years to LeBron, because you always get that fatigue of giving it to the same guy every year, right? I just think that the league wants Josh Allen to now finally have one as well, so they can say, you know, Josh Allen now can be put up on that mantle. So I do think Josh Allen is going to win it, but if I had a vote, my vote would go to Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to say this, that the NFL, it's like the Bills are like the New York Knicks of the NFL. What I mean by that is the NFL needs the Bills to succeed. They need the Bills to succeed. The market is big enough and the following is big enough to have that squad to garner excitement around that team. And I think with the leadership of Josh Allen, what he's done this season with the tools that he's been given and with the tools that have been taken away from him or that have left, Lamar Jackson, I mean, for me, this is a toss-up for me. This is a really, really tough one. I'm not going to be upset with either. I think at the end of the day, unfortunately, my brain always goes to, well, I want one of these guys to win the championship. That's what I want. Like I want if Josh is going to win the MVP, I also want him to have the Lombardi right beside it. Or if Jackson's going to, I want the Lombardi, because I just feel like these two gentlemen both are deserving and their time is coming up.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I
don't. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not even going to play favorites here. I don't. I mean, I want to say Jackson, but because he's directly a nemesis to my Steelers, but I have to put that aside and probably say Jackson. But Josh Allen's just amazing. The 1A, 1B, 1A and 1, yeah, 1 and 1A. I think for me, it's wild. I think I was going to say something else before that, and I completely forgot. Shoot, doesn't matter. We'll move on. Okay.
Real quick, here's what I'm gonna just say. Neither one, to be honest, it's the media and all of us
Sure.
talking about it. Josh Allen and Lamar could give a rat's ass about the MVP.
Totally.
They want a Lombardi. That's
Yeah.
what they want.
Yeah,
They
totally.
can man, they don't give a shit about that damn award. I'm telling you, they don't.
He's already got to.
Huh?
He's already got to. I mean,
Yeah,
I get why.
it's like Lamar definitely don't, and Josh don't, because Josh, like, I don't care if I get the MVP. If I get a ring,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. That's what they care about. I'm telling you, because Patrick is just doing this all the time when he's talking to them. He's just holding up every ring. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. So that's what they want.
Who I had at the beginning of the year getting MVP, Mahomes or CJ Stroud.
If he had a better season, and you know it's crazy, they're fucking 15-1, and he's not in the conversation.
Yeah, crazy. All right, here it is. This is the time. This is a definitive game-by-game winner picks. We're going to pick all the winners from this weekend, who we think is going to win this game. I just want to make sure before we jump into it that you guys recognize, you the listeners or the watchers and my fellow brothers here on the panel, that I only missed one game from last weekend, and that is because my heart laid with my Pittsburgh Steelers, but my money knew it was Baltimore. But I had to do it. I only missed one game, but all around, we kept ourselves in the know on the chat all weekend. It was absolutely fantastic amongst my brothers. So we are going to now do the game-by-game picks, and I want to let you know that this segment is brought to you by Mama Pinkett's Betting and Gambling. Mama Pinkett doesn't bet or gamble other than anything. She doesn't. Oh, I messed that up. Hold on. Brought to you by Mama Pinkett's Betting and Gambling. Mama Pinkett doesn't bet or gamble on anything other than the teachings of the Lord. Play safe, pay your penance. All right, here we go. Let's jump into it and let's go. There's 4 games and let's just pick our winners here. So let's go with Gene. Let's go with you first. Then we'll go Wudi and then we'll go Caleb.
All right, let's go down the list of games. Let me pull my thing.
I'll tell you, Texans at Chiefs, Saturday at 4:30.
All right, so I mean, Texans. Listen, I didn't expect the Texans to come out firing last year. The defense looked. I mean, last week the defense looked amazing. But I don't think the Chiefs defense is also very, very good. I don't think they need to win. I don't think they need to win on with defense this week. I just think that Stroud's going to kind of, have one of those games where it's like he's shown that regression that he showed all year. I think this is a perfect spot for it. So I got the Chiefs up big. I think the spread is 8. I think the Chiefs actually beat that spread. I take the Chiefs with the spread.
Great. Hold it there. Let's just go around with the one game. I just thought of this right now. Okay. Let's just go around with one because I like what you were saying there. Let's just keep that momentum going. Wudi, Chiefs, Texans at Chiefs. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it always seems crazy to pick against a team and then pick against them again. But I mean, the Chiefs not losing this game. Come on, man. Come on. If they're losing to Josh. They're losing to King Henry because Lamar can't throw late in games. I mean, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know about the spread, nothing like that. But I think this game, if I'm a betting man, guns in my head, I have to choose. I do think they would beat the spread actually, because I think they're going to play. And what I was saying before to Kayla's point with Travis Kelce, everybody, they didn't have their foot on the gas. 3 games, and we complete that 3-peat. Caleb.
I agree. I think the Chiefs win. I don't think because it's CJ. I don't trust CJ enough. I don't think it'll be a blowout simply because the Texans defense is too good. I mean, if they just get like that, if they get blown out, oh my God, it's going to look bad because it's going to look like they really going for that 3-peat. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I don't think GOAT Mahomes can lose. It's like when the Celtics and the Lakers was going at each other in the 80s and the year the Lakers didn't make it. And Larry Bird's like, yo, where's Magic? I don't want to play this. If he ain't there, I don't want to play. You know what I mean? No, you didn't even make it. You lost to the Rockets. Oh, you know what I mean? So that's what it's like. It's like if GOAT doesn't make it, Allen and Lamar are disappointed. They are disappointed. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And here's the thing too: if you power rank the quarterbacks, you possibly have the number 1 quarterback going against the number 8 quarterback. If you put who's left, right?
Right.
So
no way. CJ Stroud, you're saying CJ Stroud is the number 8
this year? Where would you put him?
Let me think of who's in right now.
Maybe Goff.
No.
Maybe Daniels.
Statistically, yes.
I'm not asking.
Yeah.
Eye test. Forget the statistics. When you look at them, what do your eyes tell you? That's what I'm
going. I would take CJ over Hurts. I'm taking CJ over Goff.
This year, you would rather have CJ Stroud as your quarterback this year than Hurts.
Yeah.
Even Goff, who's had a crazy completion percentage this year.
That's tough, but Goff.
I'm not talking about long term of a career. I'm talking about this year.
Yes, no, I understand. I don't know. I feel like CJ. He definitely regressed, but that O-line, put him behind that Detroit O-line. I'm feeling real good about it. He's been getting beat up. He's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. Oof. I don't think that's happening in Detroit. And
maybe he's not on Detroit. He's on Houston.
but that's what we're saying. We're saying the eye test, what he's capable of doing.
No, what he's capable of doing. I'm talking about right now. How they play with the team they're
on their teams. All right, fine. I'll back off. I'll back up. Right, CJ Stroud number 8.
No, Wudi just mentioned Detroit, so let's go reverse this time. So we'll Caleb, Wudi, Gene. We're talking about the Commanders at the Lions. Both of those games, like I said, are Saturday. So Texans Chief 4:30. Commanders at Lions Saturday at 8 p.m. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. We'll go Caleb, and then if Wudi comes back, Wudi, and then Gene. So Caleb, Commanders, Lions.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm taking the Commanders.
Wow, nice.
I think they can beat the Lions. I really do. I think the Lions are softer than what they looked right? And I think their defense, they got and Anzalone back, and he's the Viking, like, you know what I mean? And he's playing linebacker. He's gonna do his thing. And the Lions should win, of course. But I'm just gonna take right. See, now look at that. So Sunil said 38-35. I could that's a great game. That's what I want to see. But I'm gonna just pick, because I picked the Steelers last week and they got their asses handed to them. So I'm gonna go again with another upset, and I'm gonna pick the Commanders, the Washington football team, over the Lions in Detroit. I'm not gonna pick a score, but if it comes down to the final possession and Jaden Daniels got the ball, I think the Lions are upset.
Woo, Wudi.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not as high on the Lions as everybody else either. I think as a whole franchise, they've been propped up.
Because they want
beyond. It's been
a storied franchise. They're as old as the Packers and the Bears.
Yeah, but they not. I mean, I don't know. Like they acted like Dan Campbell is the greatest coach in the league. You know, both coordinators, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, supposed to be the next, great head coach. Every player is supposed to, go into the Hall of Fame. But the media has pumped them. Like it's kind of been too much. And I don't think they're winning the Super Bowl, but they are winning this football game. They're beating the Commanders. The Commanders.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do that. I knew it. I was like, oh, this is too juicy. Gene, Commanders and Lions.
But no, their defense, like the Commanders, it's shootout city. Like that's why we keep seeing all these things from Jaden, is because I like Dan Quinn as a coach, and he's a great defensive mind, but they just don't have the pieces right now. This was year one. No one was even expecting them to make the playoffs, and now here they are in the divisional round. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to run wild.
And they got Montgomery back.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
They're going to be collecting those little gold rings all game. I don't think they'll be able to keep up. And I know that sounds, I know, like, Jaden and their offense, but I just think there's more juice there. The Commanders' offense to the Lions' defense is way closer than the Lions offense, which I think is top 3 in the league, to the Commanders defense, which I would put in the bottom 7.
Nice. Gene.
I listen, Detroit Lions will win this game because they should win this game, but I do think it'll be a closer game than a lot of people think. It's not going to be a washout by any stretch. I think it will be a close game. I don't know about a field goal game, but I could see it being one of those games that Detroit might have to go on a last second, minute drive. So I got the Lions, but I also do have the Commanders making a statement with "We are here, our future starts now" type of game. So, but I do got the Lions.
Solid. And me as the fourth, I'm going to also concur. I'm going to pick the Lions as well. So I got the Chiefs and I got the Lions. Great. Game 3, which is on Sunday, 3:00 Eastern time. Rams at Eagles. This is going to be a little bit of a discussion, I feel, or it may not be. We'll see how it goes. Let's go again back in reverse on my screen. So Gene, no, you know what? We'll go Wudi, then Gene, and then Caleb. Wudi, what do we think? Rams at Eagles, Sunday at 3.
We didn't get to do Super Bowl picks before the playoffs started, but had we did, I would have said Chiefs over the Eagles. I just think
we did do Super Bowl predictions.
But no, that was before the season. But I'm saying when the playoff, to update, because my original was the Jets over the Niners. Neither of those teams made it.
Right, my bad. Yeah, sorry.
No worries. So now, after the first week has played, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to change my pick again. And I'm gonna say this. I just said it about Travis Kelce. 3 games. You know who also has that mentality? Is Sean McVay, right? He's been to the Super Bowl twice in the last 8 years. Matthew Stafford, right? Been to the Super Bowl as a Ram. These are old men. Sean McVay has 1 foot out the door, but you know what? 3 games. We've seen what they just did to the Vikings, and their defense is not getting the credit it deserved. All right. They have 2 candidates for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and they're both on the same defensive line. They are playing great. And I just think, when we talk about, the last minute, right, the 2-minute drill, can Jaden Daniels drive down the field? I think we all agreed, yes. Can Jalen Hurts drive down the field? It's a coin flip. It's a coin flip. But can Matthew Stafford drive down the field? Yes, he can. Puka, Cooper, DeMarcus, Tutu, all these people, he can get it to any one of them. I trust Matthew Stafford. No disrespect to the multiple Eagles fans. They flocking right now on this show. But Rams, give me the LA Rams winning this game in an upset.
All right. I mean, listen, I am an Eagles fan, right? We've discussed this already. I think this is going to be a very close game. I actually closer than I would have thought of coming into playoffs if they were going to meet up, because I just didn't trust the Rams. I know they were playing well, but I just didn't trust the Rams. I don't know. There was just the pizzazz wasn't there on defense, but they still play well. I do think it'll be a close game. I do think it'll be a great game, an underrated game going into the week, but one that everyone's going to be talking about at the water cooler on Monday, right, at work. But I still have the Eagles, and I'm going to give you a score prediction: 26-21. That's my score prediction. Close one.
Yeah.
Nigel is muted.
I was just saying green emphatically. I was making a lot of Caleb.
Yeah, you know what? It's gonna be interesting. I think I agree with Wudi in the sense, and Gene, that it's gonna be a whole lot closer. I think it's gonna be a way different game. You already know who I'm picking. It's not even a question. But I do believe the Rams are not going to roll over. I think it's going to be a lot of Saquon that they're going to have to deal with, that they're going to have to stack the box. And doing that, hopefully Jalen can get some sort of semblance of a pass game, because if he does, I don't see how the Rams stops this offense, because we already know once Saquon gets going, it's a wrap, right? So they have to stop him. They're going to force Jaden to throw. And if Jalen can throw, he's the key, right? The defense on the other side, Stafford better be ready, because them boys is coming. The Eagles don't have to blitz. That's the thing. They got four down linemen that can get after it real quick. And they got a good running back. But we're not scared of him. Ain't nobody worried about him. We'll shut that run down, and we'll get to Stafford's ass. Wudi is right. I trust Stafford more in those situations. So now it's going to be on our secondary. You already know where the weakest link is. He's going to be on one of them, Puka or Cooper. And whoever he's on is going to be getting our ass. All right. So it's like, we gotta keep pressure on Stafford. Pressure bust pipe. So if we can get to him, there's that. So I do expect it to be closer. I expect us to win, but if we do not, I know where the issue, I know where the blame is going to lay, and it's going to be at the feet of number one.
Ooh, well, it might be at the feet of number one, or it might be at the feet of Mother Nature. It is predicted to feel like -6, probably even colder, rain and snow in Philadelphia. So who knows what's going to go on there? And you know what? With that being said, this was a tough one for me to choose, but the next game was even tougher. But for me, I'm going with the Rams. I think I don't know what it is. I think there's one more left in the Rams. They got a lot of fight on them, and they got weapons.
If the Rams beat the Eagles, they can beat the Lions. What are you
You're not
talking
wrong.
about?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
If they beat the Eagles, I think they get to the Super Bowl, because I don't think the Lions can beat them.
Yeah.
I think Stafford just got something over Goff. I think Goff is it's like your girl that left you for him. So you're seeing your wife over there, your ex-wife with that dude, right? And he got the white teeth and all that, and doing commercials with her and shit. And you back there crying like,
as soon as you said, yeah, man, it's like it's like your girl. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, you know
Here
what
we
I'm
go.
saying? That's what it's like. Stafford's like, yeah, I moved on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, yeah. Look, she look good, don't she? Them is
Yeah.
new. Them is new.
Okay,
Them is new ones.
let's go. Let's move on. Running out of time here. Let's move on to the last game. This is the game. Capital THE. Ravens at Bills. Number 3 versus number 2. Sunday at 6:30. This is the game to end all games. Let's start with Caleb. We'll go with Gene, and when Wudi comes back, we'll go with Wudi. So, Caleb, what are we thinking? Ravens at Bills.
I'm
Sunday.
hoping this is I'm so hyped for this game. And usually when I'm hyped for games, they always let me down. So I'm hoping,
Facts.
I hope this one does not, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it will. I think it's going to be a battle. I think Lamar is going to show up in a way that really is going to test, like really show who he is when all the lights are on and the pressure is there, because he's always faltered in those moments. I don't think he does this weekend.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think I'm going with the Bills because I love Josh Allen. He's my favorite quarterback. I just believe in that dude. Like, I think there's just something about him that there's that grit. Lamar's got everything to do it. He's got the better offense. He's got the better offense, right? We'll take defenses out, right? Because it's an offensive league. So to get rid of the defenses, I think Lamar has more weapons to destruct the Bills defense than Josh has to do that to destruct the Ravens.
Mhm.
But that dude is just, I just think there's something about him. And so I'm picking them to win. It's going to be freezing. It's going to be freezing out there. But both teams can play in it. So I'm not talking about but I just mean like just those elements. Like, I just think it's going to be a hell of a game. And I think if the Bills can put some semblance of a stop on Henry, that's their key to really winning.
Mhm.
You want Lamar running and not Henry, because Henry's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt to tackle him a whole
Especially in a
lot
run.
less. Yes, a whole lot less than it will be to hurt. That you get hurt. Tackling Lamar. Like, Lamar ain't going to lay a ding on you. Homeboy is that. And don't forget, the greatest stiff arm in the history of football, next to probably Jim Brown, who I wasn't old enough to watch play. But that thing, did you see what he did to Micah?
Oh, dude.
Derek has the best stiff arms I've ever seen. They're the greatest. So that in freezing temperature, you don't want that. You don't want that. The air getting underneath your neck stuff and all that, and you don't want that. So they got to stop him. But I'm gonna go with the Bills, even though I know. And right now, the Bills are favored by 0.3 points, which has changed. So I don't know how this is happening. They're basically equal. But I'm gonna go with Josh. I think the Bills are gonna win, but I'm not gonna be mad either way. I want either one of them winning is not gonna make me mad. Josh Allen's my favorite, so I want him to go.
Gene?
Right now, the spread right now I see is Baltimore was favored by 1
Okay.
on ESPN bets. So it could be different elsewhere. This could go down as an all-time classic game.
I know.
The quarterbacks, the even both teams have great running backs. The
Cook is
weather.
different.
No, Cook. Yeah, I get it. But the weather elements too. Everybody loves seeing those old-fashioned games, the snow and just cruising backs.
65% chance of snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the smoke coming out from their face masks, from their breath. We all love that. It feels like old-fashioned football, where, like from like the 60s, 70s, 80s. So having said that, as much as I'm rooting for the Ravens in this game, and I am rooting for the Ravens, I do think the Bills win this game, but I think it's going to go down as a particular, can't say the word. I don't know how to say it. Particularly. Is that right?
Yeah, well, you first time.
Historic game.
Use your vowels.
It's going to be, I really do feel like this could be a historic game. One of those ones that we talk about for years to come. And if it's not, then it's a shame, because then we got robbed, because this really should be one of those games that we should talk about for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Like, you remember back in 2025, Ravens at the Bills, that was cold and this and that. And, the legend always lives on, right? It goes from being like, -3 degrees to like, -25 degrees 20 years from now, right? That's how the legend builds.
Right.
But I feel like this could be one of those games, and God bless, I hope it is. But I have to take the Bills on it. They are home. This is one of those games I think I would probably take the home team regardless. If it was in Baltimore, I think I'd take Baltimore. But because it's in Buffalo, I'm going Buffalo.
Ooh, well, looks like it might be a clean sweep for the people that we have on screens today, because I'm going to go with the Bills too. This was a tough one.
Really?
Yeah. This is a tough one for me, man. And I actually, as you guys know, with the teams that I pick, I put in green. In my docs, I put them in green. But this game, I have the Bills in yellow because I'm not fully committed. Like I'm just like, this one was very hard for me to choose. Again, I think it's going to be, I'm with you guys. Everything you guys say, I'm going to echo everything you guys said. It'll be, we hope for a close game. If that means high score, low score, just a battle, a bruiser, because these teams deserve to be there. Whoever is left standing, rightfully so. And it should be phenomenal. I hope nothing but the best for Beth's team, for either team going forward. Okay. Since we have Wudi here with us, fantastic. Wudi, last but certainly not least, we're talking Ravens at Bills. The three of us have all predicted the Bills. It has been a great debate. You are last. What are you thinking? Ravens at Bills, Sunday, 6:30, supposed to be cold.
Bring out the broom. It's a clean sweep. A clean sweep. I think it is the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, just the power of human will. I just don't think that they are going to let this man down. I told you it's a team game, and I understand because Lamar, it's the same thing on the other side. Power of will. They've been there before. They've lost. And Josh Allen, they've been there before. They've lost. But I just think that, in terms of a gamer, and I know Lamar can rush for touchdowns. They can do, but I just, he's bigger, stronger. I mean, just the power of human will. Give me Josh Allen willing this win into existence.
Woo, done and done. You know what? That has been a heavy dose of NFL chatter. There has been a fantastic, it was a semi-fantastic playoff weekend last weekend, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So there you go. We did the thing. And let's see, what do we got, brother, here? Unfortunately, I really should between the Bills and Ravens. Plus, we watched regular season by Lamar. Yeah, for exactly Buffalo. But Buffalo, they play incredible by Josh Allen. Absolutely correct. I mean, you're echoing the same sentiments as us dudes here. Let's switch it over to the NBA. A couple topics I want to talk about before we hit up
Ravens definitely can win. You're right about that.
For sure.
1,000%.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the NBA before we get into our last sport topic of the day. The NBA, very quickly, I want to talk about this. We don't often talk about pop culture bleeding into professional sports or vice versa. But right now, let's just talk real quick about LiAngelo Ball, or also known as G3. He might perform his song. Well, he is performing. We know that for sure at Rolling Loud LA 2024. So, Caleeb, let us know how it goes. I
don't attend those concerts. I'm 45 years old. I got no business being out there with 2 20-year-olds talking that recklessness. I can't even, no.
So he just dropped a track called Tweaker, and and I'm curious if y'all think that he should be performing at the NBA All-Star game. He was playing in Mexico. That's right, brother. We're talking about it. He recently played in Mexico, but he's right now he's out due to injury. So he's found some other things to do, which is dropping some new tracks. Gentlemen, what are we thinking?
I'll go first. I'm a fan of the Ball family. I'll say this right now. All right, LiAngelo Ball is a better basketball player than Bronny James. I'm saying that. I'm saying that right now. But just because the DNA a little different, he's not in the league, so I'm glad that he was able to find his lane. Right. The song, I'm not gonna lie. I can't believe I'm saying this in a public forum. I don't think the song is all that. Like when they said, "Oh, the new Jello drop," I played it and I was like, "Okay, this is that's cool." But for it to catch the fire that it's caught, like number 3 most downloaded song. All that got himself a record deal. Like, I'm super happy for him, because his brothers are in the league. He's worked super hard to, join them. Didn't work out, but to, find his own passion, find his own lane, and now get paid, at a comparable scale to them. I feel like that makes me immensely happy. Shout out to LeVar. Now they're saying he went 3 for 3. But I'm gonna say it again. He better than Bronny. He should be in the league, but if not, I'll settle for him performing that song at the All-Star game.
Well, he's not in the league because his daddy's name is LeVar, and the other one's daddy's name is LeBron. So you know what I'm saying?
LeVar sounds like the like the Trader Joe's version or something like that.
No, okay, look, Project Nerd. I would just jump in because I saw your thing. Look here, it probably is fire. I'm just past that in my life. That's just not what that just doesn't make me. It doesn't make me jiggy or make me move. Like, I don't listen to that. I'm like, did you sound ignorant? like it's crazy, but I'm happy for him. The kids love it. More power to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's great for him because Wudi, you made a good point. His brothers are in the league, and when you don't make it where your brothers are, and it's always like the middle child, it's like that. Yeah. So for him to find his own lane where he can be exponentially hotter than them because he's culture, right? When you make music, you're the vibe of the culture. So he could be like white hot for a minute, and that is different than your brother. Your little brother got a $230 million contract. Yours is for 13. But you know what? I'm the hot in the club. You understand?
after your game, you're chilling with the Champers in the club to my song. You know what I mean?
That's right. And what he say, and like my boy Keenan used to say when he played a character Frenchie on A Living Color. See, I'm dating myself, but he used to say, "And all the ladies love my cologne." And that's what LiAngelo can say. He can say, "And all the ladies love my cologne because I'm the hottest in the game right now. Ain't nothing like being a hot rapper." So I think it's great for him. More power to you. Shout out to LeVar. You show that's how you raise a family. That's how you believe in your kids, and your belief helped them achieve what they did not know they could. And that shit should be commendable. I don't care how he acts. I don't care what he say. I don't care what your opinion is. He's Father of the Year. He's great. Johnny's comedy. Listen, it probably is. I don't care. I'm not his demographic. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't Little Baby's demographic either. He dropped the album. I care less.
Hey, Gene, do you have anything to say on this?
Yeah, see, I'm from the era of Nas, Biggie, Tupac.
Yeah, we all.
I got no time for LiAngelo ball, LiAngelo ball, whatever.
LiAngelo.
It's okay for some brothers in a athletic family to not be heard. Like, we don't hear from Cooper Manning. Cooper Manning never released a country record, right? We don't need to hear from Cooper.
But
Manning.
His son is playing. Arch is in there.
Arch is balling.
Yeah.
So let LiAngelo have a son, and hopefully he makes the NBA one day. I don't need to hear, what is it called anyway? The song?
What's that?
I don't know.
Tweaker.
It's called Tweaker.
Come on, bro. Where I'm from, that was a bad thing.
Yeah, right. At my age, it was. Yeah, if you were a tweaker, you had some issues. Maybe he's talking about the same thing. I have no idea, but
maybe I don't know.
I haven't even heard it, and I already hate it.
All right. Well, we'll see what the Rolling Loud crowd thinks.
You actually have a chance to hear it, because our OG Hector, the OG of Uptown Sports TV, uploaded a little video clip for us to see. So this is your first time, Gene. Your first time.
And I heard that she wanna show me who she be. I'm kinda fucking with it. Show me some more. Bitch, we tatted head to toe. Could give a fuck the story wrote. You wanna tweak it up with me, and I'ma show you how that go. I might swerve in that corner. Whoa. Bitch, hold on tight. When I tweak in the bitch, I let shit go.
That was the Latin mix. Of course, the Latin mix.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, what? Well, it looks like everybody's thoroughly impressed with that clip. Thanks for that. Okay, so I guess we're gonna find out what happens with with the Rolling Loud crowd, because I mean, hey, this is going to be his festival debut, and he's going to be sharing the stage with the likes of ASAP Rocky and YG and Quavo and more. So that's very, very funny. Okay, you know what? We gotta call this thing. But before I do that, we got to make sure that we get to a special event that is happening this weekend. And this segment, it is called Fight Night with everyone else but Nigel and Gene. We are talking about UFC. It is coming up and it's going to come fast and furious. UFC 311. I'm going to leave this one to Wudi. Wudi, why don't you walk us through this? You and Caleeb go for it. Yeah, Gene and I will just hang out in the cut.
I mean, I don't know what they would have to do. They would have to bring back Jesus of Nazareth to make a better card than this. This card is the most fantastic card. The main card has 5 absolute bangers. We got 2 titles on the line in the main card, and we're talking about the pound for pound. I mean, I understand that Bones Jones is a GOAT, but we're talking about active champions in their prime, the pound for pound most dangerous man in the world, Islam Makhachev. It is an honor every single time we get to see this man fight, and he is defending his title against Arman Sarukian. That should be a battle. And then, of course, somebody else who has a claim to being the GOAT is Khabib Nurmagomedov. His cousin, Umar, is challenging for the belt against Marav Zvalishvili, which I definitely am not going to say again. If you were like, wait, what was that? I might just have to spell it out for you. There's a lot of letters. But I will just highlight the three main fights. I mean, I know, Big Mouth Kevin Holland's on there, but I'm going to start with the third fight and then go to 4-5. Yuri Prohaska versus Sweet Dreams Jamal Hill. These are 2 of the last 3 people that Poatan have sent to sleep. But in my opinion, one of these dudes is the best in the division that is not Poatan. One of them. And now we're about to find out which one it is. I'm going to take Yuri. I'm going to take Yuri for this one. He's just so unorthodox of a striker. I just think, he has a great chin, right? So while, Sweet Dreams Hill has that power, Yuri has a great chin, but the angles, I think Sweet Dreams is very technical. He's a very underrated technical fighter. And when he fights technical fighters, he owns them because he has the power and the technician. Yuri, he don't care about no fundamentals. He out here throwing, we talking about 9 to 5. He out here throwing, 5 to 10, throwing 1 to 6. Like, he don't care about no type of fundamentals. And I think that will throw Hill off his game enough where Yuri's getting this dub. Next one, Marab versus Umar. I think they hot-shotted Umar to the title. I don't think he deserves this fight. All right, he's like the number 9th rank, but because he's Khabib's cousin, DNA Bronny, right? Because of that, right? They're shoving him into this match. So give me Marab, somebody who's been at the top of the division for a long time. I don't think Dana White likes him for some reason. Maybe it's because his nose is very big. It's shaped like a refrigerator. That might be it. I don't know. He don't think he's marketable. But Marab he's beaten like 5 former champions and still didn't get a title fight. Now he finally got a title fight and won. He's a champion, and they're gonna give him, this fight, which I don't think Umar has earned, and he hasn't faced any former champions. So I just, I think it's a shame what Dana White is trying to do, but I think Marab, that has motivated Marab to reach a new level, and he's gonna prove the doubters wrong. He's gonna win that fight. Islam and Sarukian. I think Sarukian is overrated. I think he fought Charles DuBronx and lost. I think he lost that fight, but they wanted to, hype up the new generation. Another Dana White like promotion. They get a little bit too WWE where they trying to promote these dudes, into spotlights that they don't deserve. And Islam is him. I think he matches up better against Islam than DuBronx, but Islam is just a different level. I truly believe he is the best fighter on planet Earth. So give me Islam. That's my for the top 3. Yuri, Marab, Islam.
So I agree with Yuri, and Jamal Hill because I just do not like Jamal Hill. I just don't. I think he's sloppy. He don't look good. Like, what I mean by sloppy, you going in there looking like Larry Holmes. It's like, and then you got a mouth. It's like, shut up. That's why I love just this. Like, go to like sweet dreams. Can't stand his ass. So I'm definitely taking Yuri over him. Jamal could win, but I don't like him, so I don't care. And he'll never be champion as long as Poatan is there. So there's that. So I don't care about that. Merab and Umar. Here's the thing. I hear you on the Umar thing, but he can't help it that his cousin is Khabib. But let me tell you something. He definitely ain't no Bronny because Khabib made that dude wrestle a bear when he was 7. Bronny ain't never had to do nothing like that. Let me tell you something. Merab is about to get introduced to that Nurmagomedov culture. That's where your boy Makhachev hails from. Like, no joke. Merab is going to lose because he can't fight him on the ground. Merab's strength is the ground. Merab is good until you fight a Nurmagomedov. That's what they do. It's like, what? Like, no, his best shot is on top. I mean, from the shoulders, but he's not going to. They're going to lock up. The first thing Umar is going to do is come in, duck, grab. And you already know what's going to happen. I give it 2 rounds. Umar.
2 rounds, God.
Because they're too good. They're too good. Like I'm telling you, I say 2 rounds. I give it in 2 rounds. Remember, these are 5-minute rounds. These ain't 3. This ain't boxing. This 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a long time. I give it 2 rounds. I think Umar is the new bantamweight champion. I really do. Because that's what it is. Those guys are built different. If Merab wins, I'll be surprised. Right? Like, for real. Because of course somebody's got to be the weakest link. We ain't seen him like that. So maybe it's him. You know what I mean? So we will find out, but I'm taking Umar simply because of the culture that he's from and that ilk, right? Same thing with Islam. I get you. I agree with Arman. I think he's a little overrated. I think Arman beats a lot of people. I just don't think it's this guy. There's something about him because he's actually a better striker than Khabib ever was, right? Definitely. So he could do that, and then he's not as great on the ground as Khabib because Khabib, it was just ridiculous. But he's right below. Trust me. You know what I mean? And I think these guys are from that culture where they wrestle, and that's the thing, because you know that Eastern European shit. So Arman's gonna want to test it. The same thing with Merab. Merab's gonna be like, I can take it. Okay. We gonna see. So that's where I zagged from your zig on that one with Merab. I'm gonna take Umar simply because of that. I mean, he's gonna have Khabib in the corner. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's different. They just get that thing different. So that's what I say. So that's what those are my picks. It's there. I could give you. I think Moicano beats Dariush.
I agree. Dariush, right? I agree.
Yeah. So and those other ones, but we'll see. But those are the 3 since
Big Mouth getting the win. Kevin Holland getting the win.
Nah. Kevin just talked too much. He's a journeyman now. He be getting beat up all the time.
But he won his last fight.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. But I like Kevin. So you know what? For the sake of argument, yes, he gets the win. Congratulations. He ain't gonna get no title shot though.
Fair enough. Well, it looks like
Nigel quit because it's too late.
Yeah, where'd Nigel go?
He quit.
Well, I guess we all gotta go. All right. Well, appreciate you guys watching. We had a lot of people in the building. We'll see you next week, and let's get it.
Deuces.